Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance for this fine, what is this day? Friday. It's Friday. How the heck did we get to Friday? And that's going to fit in so well with our reading today, it's going to make you laugh. So, let's start with breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. By the way, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, and I am here to get our day off to a great start. Good morning to whomever just popped on. Glad you are here. It's Jo Neal. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Glad you're here. So our whole reading today is actually about being present. And apparently this week I haven't been overly present. I missed taking my vitamins and blood pressure med for 2 days in a row earlier this week. Grabbed the pill minder on Wednesday and went, what the heck? I never miss. Well, yeah. So kind of fits with some of the other things. I have a little note here. Actually, it's stuck in our reading for today, which now you can tell is Tosha Silver's Outrageous Openness. See the numbers at the top? That's actually the maximum measurement of a suitcase that one can take on Delta Airlines carry-on. So I've been meaning to get upstairs with my tape measure and check which is the biggest suitcase I can possibly bring. I'm really good at traveling with small suitcases. I traveled with one that was so small when we went to Portugal and Spain that it could fit under the seat. 10 days. That was my suitcase. So I'm really good at this. However, my daughter has a bunch of stuff that she left out at my sister's house when she flew back at one point. Long story. Anywho, we're going to go through that stuff. Good morning, Carolyn. Welcome. Welcome to the rest of you who've popped on while I've been yakking. And decide what's coming home with me on the plane and what's going to St. Vinny's out there, or Goodwill or wherever. So I need as much extra space as I can possibly muster. Plus, I might find some fun stuff out there, and I like bringing back one or two things that commemorate a trip. So, anywho, I've written this down days ago, and I seem to not be making it up the stairs with the piece of paper and the tape measure to decide which suitcase I'm actually going to take with me. I'll get there. So, today's reading is so spot on, and my guess is if you're functioning like some of the rest of the people I've been talking to the last week, you're probably going to resonate with it also. So, outrageous openness, letting the divine take the lead, Tosha Silver. And there's a couple of things I'm going to have us do in the course of this little reading. For those of you who have the book, page 167. Contestants must be present to win. Good morning, Mel. Welcome. Glad you're here. All the practical rebels ready to learn how to ground a little bit more. The quote is actually from a bumper sticker that she saw on a car in Berkeley, California. If you were in your body, you'd be home by now. How many of us are kind of like, we're just not really connected, not really present to win? So let's see. One day, I became seriously motivated to become more present. I was driving onto the Bay Bridge one afternoon, lost in thought. Good morning, Beth. The next thing I knew, the toll taker was yanking me out of my reverie, saying sharply, "Honey, what in Lord's name do you want me to do with this sorry thing? It sure ain't gonna get you across no damn bridge." I realized I had handed her my garage door opener. While I chuckled about it for an hour, I knew I had a problem. So now I stop often during the day and ask. Here are some questions. Here are 4 questions to help you discern, am I present or not? Good morning, Mary. Thank you for the coffee. Much appreciated. Went to a cute little coffee shop yesterday with my friends Janice and Kathy, and had a wonderful little lunchy brunchy thing. So that was fun. That was very fun. It's called Ilbar, I-L-B-A-R. It's in Kimberly. For those of you who are local, check it out. So here are the 4 questions that she stops during the course of the day to ask herself, and we would benefit from doing the same. Where am I? What am I doing right this minute? Where has my mind taken me? And most of all, am I breathing? All right, so check with yourself right now. Are you breathing? Good morning, Donine. Glad you're here. If not, let's take a couple of nice deep breaths. So where am I? What am I doing right this minute? Where has my mind taken me? And am I breathing? It also has helped to simply plug into the earth each morning like a healthy, strong tree. So let's do that right now. Imagine having a long tap root. Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate that. A long tap root that goes all the way into the earth's center, unshakable despite outer turbulence. So breathe in. Exhale that tap root deep into Mother Earth. That's the anchoring root. That's what keeps you grounded. Yes, there's all those little feeder roots that run along the surface. Those are for nutrition. Those are the ones that draw in the nourishment. But that tap root is designed to keep you grounded. So sink it deeply with every exhale. Driving it deeper into Mother Earth, so that when things are turbulent in your world, you flow with it. You're not tipped over. As my friend and yoga instructor, Bobby Silverstone, says when we're holding eagle arms, at the center of life's storms, I stand serene. Because you're grounded. Because you're grounded. At the center of life's storms, I stand serene. She says, when I'm about to drive, I even root through the floor of the car to keep me attentive. How often are you seeing people these days just not in there when they're driving? Yesterday, I had a green light. I always look before I enter the intersection. I don't decelerate necessarily, but I look both ways. Well, one of the cars, for whatever reason, that was a 90-degree angle to me to the left, driver's side, decided to go. I don't know if he thought it was a stop sign instead of a red light. Anyway, when he went, the person in the lane beside him went also. So I hit the brakes. The one went right through. The other one, the second one, who just did what the first one did, lemmings, realized what was happening, put the brakes on, and he backed up. And his wife is whacking him. But pay attention. We must pay attention. That's how people die. We need to pay attention. She says, nonetheless, being more grounded is a real work in progress. Certainly some of us, especially many creative sorts, can easily get lost in alternate realities. I do that all the time. When I'm journaling, I can't tell you the number of times I derail. Every morning, I'll find myself just sitting, staring off into space, playing out some scenario in my head that isn't reality in the moment, go back to writing. A couple minutes later, off in La La Land again. I'd be a perfect candidate for Ritalin, but I'd rather not do the meds. But yeah, off in La La Land. And spiritual communities, even yoga classes, can sometimes be filled with folks longing to avoid the grit of the present for the buzzing high of bliss. But what if it's all the same? A false dichotomy. God really is in the details, all the messy earthly details. That's what Thich Nhat Hanh taught us when he was sharing about doing dishes. In the messy, dirty details. That is God. That is life. That is being divinely connected. That really gave me a whole different perspective on housework. I was never one who was excited about housework. It was tedious and boring, in my opinion. But after reading his prose about doing the dishes in a mindful way, it's like all that stuff is different now. So the other day, my task was, I took my vacuum cleaner outside. Mine is one of the ones with the cylinder you take out and dump into the garbage can, so they just get dusty and messy and gross, right? And then there's the two filters. There's a hard filter and there's a sponge filter. And usually I'll just take the sponge filter out and bang it off on the garbage can for a while before I replace them. Did you know there's filters in your vacuum you're supposed to replace? Anywho, I decided the other day was the day that I was going to do that, so I went out and got hooked up with the air hose and was all set to blow the dust off of everything. And the part that turns underneath, full of hair, long red hair. Thank you, my dear daughter. So I spent a whole lot of time picking all the hair out of there too. So then I decided I would come in the house and vacuum, because my daughter had now moved out with the dog, so there's little curly white hairs all over the place because she tries to keep him sheared pretty short. And by the time I was done, the cup was full again. So, but I was present as I was doing it. I was present. Vacuuming. What are the tasks? Yeah, getting the hair off is a job. It certainly is. It certainly is. And strings wound around it. So all that stuff was then blowing around the backyard. So the birds had some great nesting materials. That was my thing. So, yes. What is your household task where you find it the hardest to be present? Put them in the feed. Your household task that you find it hardest to be present. Is it vacuuming? Is it scrubbing floors? Is it doing laundry? Is it dusting? Then take that particular activity and make it mindful. Set a conscious intention. You're going to be present as you do it. You might even want to describe it out loud. Okay, now I'm dusting the shelving unit. Now I'm dusting the bookcase. Now I'm say it out loud. Okay, there you go, Cindy. That's a wonderful observation. Now what are you going to do about it? Great opportunity to practice. I'm all over the place here today, but that's okay. You guys travel with me well. Way back when I was in graduate school, one of the things that I did was teach parents how to communicate with their children, because most parents either ignore their children until something not pleasant is going on, and that's when they pay attention. Kids being heat-seeking missiles for attention. If all you're going to give them is bad attention, they're going to be bad. Hello? Duh. So, and the other thing that parents do is question. What are you doing now? Are you doing okay? How are things going? Blah, 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 blah. Ask question after question. How was school today? So, what we taught them was description and reflection. Description was just merely saying, oh, you're picking up the blue block, putting it on the red block, tipping them all over. Just an ongoing commentary about what the kid was doing. What does that do? It lets the kid know you're paying attention, and it cuts down on the mom watch, mom watch, mom watch. If you throw in a comment here and there, they know you're paying some attention to them. So, reflection, the other piece, as long as I'm giving you one, I'll give you the other. And since most of you are probably now grandparent age, use this with your grandkids. It's fabulous. Notice the difference. Reflection is they say something to you, I'm tired. You repeat, I'm tired. You're tired. You're going to think they're going to catch on and they're going to wonder, what are you doing? And they're going to get mad about it. No. Most people, adults too, this works great with adults. I'm thinking I'm going to have a burrito for supper. You repeat, a burrito for supper. You're just validating what you've heard. Yeah, a burrito, I'm probably going to put this, and this, and it'll keep them going. It'll keep people talking. You'll get more information. Cat treats in the coffee basket. Fabulous, Mel. Fabulous. That is a great one. I've put my phone in the refrigerator. I've done all manner of things, yes. And then if you have the ringer turned off, you can't just call it and find it. Yeah. Glad that there are others of you who are picking up what I'm putting down here. So, what do we do about this? We do these things she's talking about. We drive our taproot into Mother Earth. We ask the 4 questions. We pay attention. So here's the story. So So far, I've read the little part where she's making her point. Now, here's the story that goes along with the point. I once lived in an apartment building where one of my neighbors was an otherworldly, charismatic woman from a local temple. She had a wonderful singing voice and often invited everyone over to chant or meditate. She'd had many spiritual teachers around the world and flamboyant inner visions that she loved to share. Those are fun people, right? I will tell you, Carolyn. I will tell you. It'll be good. Let me finish this and then we'll hit that question. Most people found her in the building, found her utterly endearing and completely maddening. You see, she seemed to treat reality as a pesky distraction from her spiritual seeking. What good were all those celestial visions if she moved people's still wet clothes when she needed a dryer? How did chanting help if she left her trash everywhere for some kind of cosmic pickup? Often she would wander away as someone spoke. My sister does that all the time. Wanders off. I'm like, I'm in the middle of something here. On the night she moved out, she somehow entangled her U-Haul in the row of bulbs that lit our garages. As she hightailed from the building for the final time, she pulled the whole electrical strip off the wall and then dragged it behind her down the road, loudly clattering all the way. My neighbors and I watched in bemused wonder as our cars were plunged into darkness. The damage took weeks to be repaired. A couple of us later remembered that her adopted name in Sanskrit meant bearer of divine light. So there you are, that person who's just not overly present in reality. They're fun to be around, oftentimes. Not trying to get anything done when they're around, but they're fun to be around. But how do you ground and how do you view this earth walk really as divinely connected to everything? It's not this and that. It's all of this, all of this. And when you view your earth walk, even the mundane tasks, through the lens of it's all one, then you begin to enjoy doing that stuff. Yes, we used to call them spacey. Well, here I am, spacey. So, and some days are better than others. This week has been particularly difficult. I think more energetically. There's just some funky stuff going on. So you roll with it and you ground as best you can do, right? So Carolyn, back to your question. 12-year-old boy. And we're getting there, right? 12-year-old boy. Yeah, same, 11-year-old girl starting to get that sullenness going, that preteen, tweeny stuff. Oh, what fun. Oh, what fun. So what you can start doing is making commentary on things. So let's say, I'm just going to make stuff up here. Let's say you're making chocolate chip cookies when he walks in the door from school. I'm making chocolate chip cookies. Describe your own behavior. You might get the grunt. Ugh. The desire then is to ask a question. Oftentimes what you can do is just drop off the question part of it. Make it more like a comment. So, I'm just going to make stuff up. So if you typically would say, oh, you're just going to drop your backpack on the floor? Description. You dropped your backpack on the floor. Leave it. It may seem provocative, but you're merely describing. You're not judging. If we've had a tendency to be judgmental, they may hear judgment in something where it isn't. You might get another grunt. Yeah, so what? Nothing, just noting it. Go back to what you're doing, making cookies, blah, blah. He may go to the refrigerator. You're looking for something to eat. Description. You've opened the fridge door. Just very descriptive. And an older kid, a 12-year-old. I mean, if you're working with 3, 4, 5, they're probably not going to notice. If you're working with a 12-year-old, yes, they might notice. Why are you saying what I'm doing? I'm just noting what you're doing. I don't like that. You're not fond of that. So there's a reflection. No, because it seems like you're in my business. Let it go. Let it go. Periodically, opportunities will present themselves. The thing about this process, and the thing about many processes that we want to learn, is you don't have to practice 8,000 hours a day. Some people do that stuff. But what I told parents, 5 minutes a day. I want you to do 5 minutes a day of intensive practice with your kid. And it's not, come over here, we're going to sit here and do this thing. It's catching the opportunities. So let's say then that 12-year-old is now sitting at the table on his phone. Looks like you're playing a game. Yeah. Again, the desire is going to be to slip into a question. What game are you playing? No. So you look at the screen. Whatever it is. I'm going to make stuff up because I don't know what games kids like at this point. I know what my kids like, but I don't know. They're 30-something, so there's probably a whole lot of different games. So I would just describe it. It's a shooting game, or, whatever. Different states. So usually a phone call. Should I tell him what I'm doing instead of asking him? Yes, tell him what you're up to, or what you've done during the course of the day. So today I weeded the flower beds. So just leave a silence also. Just leave a silence for a little while. The way that I've learned, and this is part of my Mary Kay training, with fabulous training, is make your statement and then wait. Wait. So if you say, I weeded the garden today, start counting in your head. Mississippi 1, Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3. See how long it goes before he says something. He may then say, I had a Spanish test today. Repeat. You had a Spanish test. Yeah, I don't think I did very well. You don't think you did well? That, I put a question on there. You don't think you did well? Drop it at the end instead of raise it at the end. And it goes from a question to a statement. You could try, I'd love to hear about your day. For a 12-year-old, that can be rather open-ended and they don't know where to go. My daughter explained something to me recently that I was like, wow, I wish I had known that then. When I would ask her an open-ended question like, how was your day? Whatever. The one that drove her nuts was, what are you thinking about? Because her brain was so chaotic. She was undiagnosed ADHD. Her brain was so chaotic. She said, I didn't know what to grab onto to share with you. I didn't know. So then she'd just get sullen and cranky and really push back, which then it's like, okay, won't be asking her that question again. She's now 30-something. She could say when she was 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever, and I'd say, what are you thinking about? She couldn't pull something out of that cacophony of noise in her head to tell me. So she pushed back. Try stuff. Just try stuff. Try some of the things out of taking the war out of our words. Those are useful techniques for with tweens, teens, adults, pretty much everybody. And Jonelle had a great question, which I've now pitched to my virtual assistant. She said, what about gathering all of the times, all of the YEMIGs where we talked about the book and put them into one group so that if people want to have me read the book to them, they could start at the beginning of those and work their way through. I thought that was a great idea. I didn't even know that thing was a thing, that you could lump things together like that. I'm not sure the whole book, all of the YEMIGs, made it into YouTube. I know they were on Facebook, but I don't know if they were on YouTube. So I actually asked Morgan if she would go back and look to see if it's all there. And if it's all there, what did she think it would take for her to cull all those into, playlist, into a playlist. So we'll see what comes of that. That might be interesting. Might be interesting to do the same thing with outrageous openness. Although typically, we never did read it from beginning to end. We just sort of opened and grabbed whatever was present. So, but a collection of them might be kind of fun, right? So that's it for today. Grounding, being present, living this life purposefully. So, what will you do to practice? Of all those things that we talked about, asking yourself the questions, maybe it's just memorizing one of those questions. What am I doing right now? Am I breathing? Maybe it's just one of those questions. Maybe you put it on a 3x5 card. And so here's the one that I've got. Would my unstoppable self do that? Whatever it is I'm doing in the moment. So if I'm wasting my time on phone games, would my unstoppable self do that? Probably not. Time to reroute. Recalculating. So, have an awesome Friday. We'll see you again tomorrow. I'm thinking Sunday is probably going to be once I get to the airport. And I haven't decided yet. Depends how my luggage and stuff comes together, whether or not I'm taking a deck with me. I highly doubt that my sister has any decks. But doesn't mean I can't just take a book that's laying around her house and find a page and find something to talk about. So I'm going to try to do as many of these as I can while I'm on vacation, but I'm not going to hold myself to, I have to do everything. I would like to also do some little video reels, some maybe via Facebook, some maybe just videos, and I'll post them as best I can, but we'll see what we get. So, enjoy your Friday. Remember, you are capable of far more than you think you are, including being grounded, present, and aware. All right, see you tomorrow. Bye.